Hey, good morning. Thanks for joining us for the Fast Friday Facts. It's Friday, January the 22nd, 2021. Glad to have you with us today. This is an exciting week for us. As you saw just a few minutes ago, a lot of buses arriving over the last few days at schools across the district. We were excited to have those kids back in the building and look forward to continuing with that in the next week. As we return to full 4 days next week. With the holiday this week, we only had 3 days, so we're excited about that for next week. This week was not new for the middle school or the high school. They've experienced a hybrid setting before. It was new for our elementary students, and so I've invited our 3 elementary principals to be with us today to share some information about how the week went, some of the things that occurred, and some of the things that they got to experience and see. So I want you to take a few minutes, if you will, and listen to our 3 principals from Camp Dick Robinson. We have Leslie Lawson from Lancaster Elementary, Tracy Bottoms, and from Paint Lick Elementary, Liz Irwin. So give your attention to them, and I hope you enjoy what they have to say.
This has been such an exciting week, having kids back in the building, and we were talking a while ago about how cute they are and how big they've gotten. What about you guys? What do you think?
It's just been a great week to be able to welcome kids back into the building and to see their smiling faces in the classroom, in specials, getting to spend time in the cafeteria. It's just been a great week.
I think they're excited to be back. I think they want to be back for good.
Yes.
And they want to be back every day. I think that's the saddest part, because they want to be back every day.
Yeah.
But at least they're back 2 days a week right now. And so
They jump out of the car.
They
They're
do.
so happy to be there, even if it's just 2 days a week.
they do.
It's great.
And they've been so sweet and so good about doing their masks, and they keep their social distancing. They've really been great. It's just so quiet though, with half the kids there.
We had a group that had to eat in the music room, and so the teachers told them, today we're eating in the music room, and no one said a thing. They were perfectly fine with that, so they're just glad to be back in the building.
Yeah. It's kind of the new normal now. It's just everything's
Yes.
changing. But they rolled with it. They haven't thought anything different.
No, they just think the kids are the easiest adapters.
Yeah.
They just roll with it. This is the way it is.
That's right.
Yeah. You know, you worry. I think sometimes we worry so much about the kids and how they're going to take things and how they're going to do. And you know, like I walk in a classroom and I was worried because I was like, oh, there's only like 2 girls in here, and the rest are boys, and the girls are just like, it's fine.
We're okay with that.
It's not, I mean, the buses and, they've been riding those and, keeping their distance on those. And even when they get off, they're keeping their distance. And when they come in the gym, they just walk right in, get their breakfast, and go.
They all
Like, we haven't had one bit of problem.
They all have seating charts. They know
They do.
exactly where to go.
They
They line up to go get in cars. Everybody's spaced out. They do a great job of maintaining 6 feet and everything.
The one, oh, go ahead. No, it's like we don't, I mean, it's like they're little trained. I thought we'd have to do it all over again.
Yes, and do procedures and teach them and reteach them, and we don't. They just roll right in, ready to learn. When I was going in the classrooms this week, I expected to see what you see the first week of school, teachers teaching their expectations. Well, they were doing on-demand writing, they were doing multiplication and division, and I was like, yeah, this is great.
Right.
I think even the 8 o'clock Google Meets that we're getting on with, even their red gold, get them all together. I think they enjoy seeing each other, even on
Seeing their
those.
classmates,
seeing their classmates.
and doing activities with
Yeah.
them. It's really great to see.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, I guess the one thing I'm worried about is the teachers are getting used to this nice small
I know.
class size. So
They get so much accomplished.
Yeah.
They're like, we've already been through everything we planned today.
That's right.
It's good. Maybe they're getting caught up though.
that is good.
I feel like they are.
And I want to thank all of our principals for joining us today, or our 3 principals from our elementary schools for joining us today. Sounded like they had a really great week. I was able to be at each of their buildings and see some of the exciting times as kids were getting off those buses and getting back into the classrooms. And obviously the information they shared relative to safety is a real positive for us, and we're glad to hear that. Also wanted to make you aware that one of the things that we've talked about is how we would deal with issues as they came up in a hybrid setting. And we had our first experience with that late last night. we found out that there was a student who was asymptomatic who attended school yesterday at CDR, and later found out late in the evening or late in the afternoon, early evening, that there had been a positive test. And so one of the things that we said that we would do is try to find a way to quarantine that group, but allow everything else to continue. So today, unfortunately, third grade at CDR is virtual, and they'll be virtual through next week in order to make sure that everyone is safe and that the quarantine is able to be carried out. But everyone else at CDR and all of our other buildings are in today. So while it's not great for that group of third graders, it's great for everyone else. And while we're disappointed that that third grade group has to be at home, the good thing about that is they were able to roll back into virtual, still be with their teachers, and continue the process. So we appreciate the families working with us around that, allowing us to do what we think is the safest thing possible to support the rest of CDR and the rest of the district. Look forward to resolving that issue and being able to move forward. We want to remind you, if you're a parent, please make sure that you're double checking and that you're not sending students in who are waiting on a test, or a student who's been exposed, because that puts the other classmates at risk and our teachers at risk, and we don't want that to occur. So we certainly appreciate your help. We'll continue to use our mitigation strategies to support that as well. So again, thanks for joining us today. Hope you have a great weekend. Look forward to sharing more information next week, as we're still in the hybrid, but we have kids back in the building. So thanks.